My people, what's happening? It's your boy Olu once again. Today's video is going to be a mobility flow for all track athletes, not even just triple jumpers. This is in response to a submission I got in the comments last week. I recorded this video so that you can follow along as you do it in your own workout. So feel free to watch through it to get acquainted with the exercises and go along with me. It's based off of a lot of yoga movements I've done over the past few years. If you know me, you may know that I've been doing some yoga on and off for the past few years after meeting a really good friend who put me onto it. And a lot of the moves with yoga are very functional for track and field athletes because they move us through certain positions of restriction and allow us to build strength in these positions as well. Quick disclaimer though, I'm not a yoga instructor, so not only are some of these names I made up for the exercises because I couldn't find any others, but also I am modifying a few of them where we're not doing arm variations that you would see in a yoga class. All right, enough talking, let's get to it. First, we'll start with the side-to-side slides. As you notice, I put high in parentheses because we start in a high up position, almost like we're doing a side lunge. As you can see, I try to go a little bit deeper after every few reps. Of course, we don't want to force it. The whole point of this series is to work with your breath. Move with your breath. Don't force yourself into positions that are uncomfortable. So now we've moved into the low slides. As I shift to one side, I pivot my heel up and I'm engaging through my quads. Now what this allows me to do is, through complicated words like reciprocal inhibition, this allows me to get a deeper stretch in my hamstrings and the lower part of my glutes. If it's pretty difficult for you to get to this position, especially being on your toe, you can actually skip that particular part of the flow. Next, we're going to go into the lizard lunge. Again, this is a modified version of a lizard lunge. What we're focusing on here, as you may be able to see, is I'm really squeezing at the glutes, and what that's doing is protecting my low back, but also opening up my hip flexors for the stretch. Now we stand it up. We're going to go into a modified warrior 2. As you notice, I put my outside foot, or my foot on the right side, my left foot, parallel with the outside of my mat. While keeping my foot flat, I move my knee forward over top of my foot. Then we're going to rotate down into a down dog, into a high plank position. One thing you're going to notice with this flow is that at first while you're doing it, things might be a little bit creaky. Your joints might be a little bit immobile. Your muscles might be a little bit stiff. That's okay. That's why we flow through it. We don't necessarily go for a set number of reps. We go in terms of how our body allows us to go. Also, we move with the breath. So you can't hear me in this video, but each time I move up and down, I'm moving with my breath. As I move down, I'm breathing out. As I move up, I'm breathing in. And I do this for every single exercise you see here. We're creating that mind-body connection between obviously our mind and also our bodies, so that when we start to move and we can control our breath, we can control our movements as well in a mindful manner. Now we're going to take a brief rest in the child's pose. As you can see, I sit my butt towards my heels here. I've walked my hands over to the right side of my mat, and I take 5 deep breaths in and out, nice and calm. You can do this at your own pace. Then I walk my hands over to the other side and do the same thing. Feel free to pause at certain areas if you need to. All right, now we're gonna go right back into another lizard lunge on the other side. So the first time I did lizard lunges with my right knee up, now I'm doing it with my left. If you didn't do it in that order, it's okay. Just make sure you do the same number of reps on this side as you've done on the other side. What you'll notice is in this entire circuit, I'm not just doing any static holds for too long. We're moving into positions and out of positions. And the beauty of that is we can do this both as part of a movement preparation for our warm-up on a track day, or also as part of an active recovery day, or in this situation like I was doing on this particular day, as a cool down from a weight circuit. Again, we're going back into Warrior 2 on the other side. Again, this is modified Warrior 2. Usually Warrior 2 has your hands up and you actually don't really move with your knee over your toe, but we're doing this with an athletic focus. As athletes, we oftentimes actually move into a knee over toe position, so don't be afraid of it. If you're feeling pain here, of course you want to modify that, but don't be afraid to move your knee over your toe under control. That's the key thing. And then I am shifting back into another set of down dogs with the high plank. This time I'm just going to do 5 instead of 10. I think I might have done 10 or 12 last time. And what you'll notice this time from the last one is that there's a lot more control. This is because, again, the mind-body connection has been established from the first time, only just a few minutes ago. And my muscles are warm, my joints are more warm and more fluid. And now the movement is more fluid and under control. We're gonna finish up with another set of child's pose on each side. Again, 5 breaths on each side. Try to wiggle around into any position where you feel some type of tightness in your body, because what usually happens is when we feel restriction and tightness in our body, it translates into our breath. And the way we're breathing can tend to dictate the thoughts that go through our head. So if we're breathing fast and shallow, we can make ourselves anxious, but when we breathe deep and slow, we can literally breathe ourselves into a relaxed state. Now imagine how powerful that is in competition. But as I shift to the side with the side-to-side slides again, I'm going from high to low. Notice how much more control, how much more smooth my movement is from the right to the left. After this, I felt so much better than before I started the flow. So hopefully that helps you guys out. As always, let me know if there's more you want to see in the comments. And please, if this was helpful for you, like it, subscribe to the channel, and I'll keep bringing more content to you consistently. All right, peace.